Okay, so what I've done, these are the radishes, and what we're doing is we're taking the radish tops and we're cutting them off. And then we're going to do something different with this. So what I've done is I've got like several radish, a complete amount of radish tops. You want to make sure that they're in fairly good shape. Now, most people don't eat radish tops leaves, and the reason for that is because when you grab a radish top leaf, it's kind of scratchy. It's fuzzy is probably the best description for it. Yeah, and when you put it in your mouth, it tastes kind of weird. So they don't really land in salad. If you have a really, really young radish and you have a really tiny leaf, now that might be able to go in the salad. But you still have the same problem as the fuzzy leaf. So what we're going to do, we're going to cook them on the stovetop. And these guys, we're going to cook them differently. I'm going to be cooking the beets and the radishes together. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle.
Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to measure a cup of Picanto's mild sauce and Prego traditional sauce. You're going to add 1 cup of tofu water because tofu is going to be our protein source. Now place it on high, see the flames, and boil it. Meanwhile, I'll be going to get the chard, wash it, and then we have other cutting to do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut up these small little potatoes in small bite size. We're also going to cut the radishes up, and we're going to cut up the beets. Then we're going to wash them all, and there'll be just another thing that we put in our frying pan to cook. Okay, so now the sauce has been cooking now for about half an hour, so it's nice and warm. What we're going to do first is we're going to put in the potatoes and the beets, the raw beets. We're going to lay them in, and then we're going to slowly introduce all these greens. And I know it looks like an enormous amount of greens. when you look at them, we have 3 bowls full, but all of this will be melded down into, it's just like spinach, it just disappears. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing next. It's important for you to know that this pan is way too small, and I probably should have moved it over to a larger pot. It takes an hour to bring down the chard down to a level where you can eat it. This is the leaves from the radishes. Let's put it back on the thing again. And then it will be truly the radish leaf and the chard that really makes this meal. You need to know that this makes a gigantic mess of your stove, or your stovetop, and that's just the way it is. But this meal is going to be good for like a week for me. And I haven't done many stews lately. I've just been eating a lot of raw salads. And so I am going to really be enjoying this. Now a stew like this can be eaten cold or it can be eaten hot. It can be applied to other things. At present, there's no salt or pepper on any of this. I'll probably use it when I'm eating it. I'm not going to add it to it because a lot of vegetables have salt. Gives it a nice, beautiful color. Okay, so it's going to take a while for this to be able to be ready, but you can see it started out this color and now it's looking more like spinach. I'm going to switch it to this pan so that I can manage it a little bit better. So what you see is I moved the cast iron pan to a silicone pan. Now I'm not going to be able, and now I'm going to scrape the rest of the potatoes and the beets in the bottom of this. And I'm probably going to have to add a little water. And now that we've moved it from the cast iron pan, we'll be able to radish leaves and the chard leaves. Okay, so this is what it's going to be like for about 30 more minutes or less. And as soon as all the greens disappear, then by then the potatoes will be ready to eat. And then we can serve it up and we can see what it's like. And I can see, I'll have to let it cool before I can transfer it to plastic bags. But you know, that's not a bad thing. Alright, so we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so all of the 3 bowls of radishes and the bowl of chard are all in here. It really does shrink quite a bit down. I probably could have put it back into the pan now. So now we're just going to finish the few minutes more that we have on the timer, and then we're going to let it cool, and I'm going to show you what it tastes like. Well, shame you can't have a plate, but you will eventually if you follow this recipe. The very last step before you get ready to serve and turn off the heat is you put the tofu. The tofu does not take very long to warm up. It's just going to be your little protein source. It's going to vanish. It's going to turn orange or the same color as your tomato sauce or the picante sauce, and you're never going to even taste it. Well, in fact, when you touch it, it's going to taste like tomato sauce. All right, so this is finished. Now we're going to let it cool, and I'm going to show you what it tastes like. I know that looks delicious. I bet you just can't wait to jump into it, but it is boiling hot. So I'm going to be cleaning the stove while this cools down. Okay, so if you take a look at a lot of my videos, I make stews. I usually use tomato sauce. It just happens to be a medium that I like using. And this is the meal right now. So I'm going to try one of the potatoes now. And the potatoes could have cooked a little longer, but all of the greens, the radish greens and the chard greens, are all completely melted down like spinach. And it tastes really good, considering that it has no salt, no pepper. The only seasoning is that it might have had is in the tomato sauce. I'm going to enjoy my bowl, and I hope that you guys enjoy, or if you do follow this meal. Thanks a lot for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye-bye now.
Subscribe to us and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you for watching.